Okay, here's some revision of factorization of trinomials from grade 9. I'll use a method that I think will help us with the more complex trinomials later on. So I won't be using maybe a short method that you can possibly use, a direct method to factorize. Just follow the method that I'm trying to show you, then you can develop that into something of your own, that's fine. So let's factorize, for instance, this expression here. I want us to start with x squared plus 6x plus 9. Now this is fairly easy. Everything is positive there, you will notice. But I want to introduce this method. It might help you later. Right, so we focus on the first term. The first term is x squared. The middle term or the second term is 6x. Then the third term, which is the constant term, is 9. So always arrange them in that order. Make sure that your trinomial, your quadratic trinomial, is arranged in descending powers of x. Now, the first term, x squared, can be split into or decomposed into two factors, and that will give us x multiplied by x. X squared means x times x. Then go to the 9 that you see there. Don't worry about that plus sign. 9 can be written as a product of its factors, two factors. We just need two numbers that multiply each other to give us a 9. And so you could say maybe it's a 1 and a 9. So if you think it's 1 and a 9, then put a 1 there and put a 9 there. Then try this. If you were to multiply diagonally, that would give you 9x. And then diagonally there, that would give you x. So you are getting 9x. You won't need to write this, but right now you are thinking, so I'm just showing you this. So you are getting 9x and actually 1x from that combination. And there's no way 9x and 1x can get you 6x. So you want a combination that will give you 6x. So 1 and 9 don't work. And you might say, maybe I need to swap them around. Maybe 9 should be there and 1 should be here. Now, if you diagonally multiply, that will give you 1x and that will give you 9x. You are getting the same things, 9x and 1x. You can't put together 9x and 1x and get a 6x. So that tells you that 1 and 9 are the wrong factors. So think again, what else could it be? And that is correct. You will obviously use 3 and 3. Now, if you cross multiply like this, you get 3x. And if you cross multiply like that, you also get 3x. So this is giving us 3x and 3x. Do you think 3x and 3x are close to 6x? Can they give us 6x? Yes, those can. So that means that is the correct combination. And so we will need in one bracket x and a 3, and in the other bracket x and a 3. So I can now come here and draw those two brackets. In one bracket, I need x and a 3. In the other bracket, I need x and a 3. The next thing is I need to deal with the signs now. When I multiply this out, I should get a plus 9. Right, so I should get a positive 9. A positive 9 tells us that the two numbers that we are multiplying should actually have the same sign, because you can't multiply two numbers and get a plus if the signs are different. Therefore, it is either a plus, both are plus, or both are negative. But if you look further, there is a plus 6 in the middle there. And if we put both our 3's negative, we are not going to get a minus. I mean, we're not going to get a plus when we add. So you can tell that the 3's that we just picked should both be positive. And so our answer will be x plus 3 multiplied by x plus 3. Let's work through another example using the same approach. Right, for this one, the first term is a squared, and we can decompose a squared into a times a, so a squared means a times a. Then we jump to the last term and just use the 12. Don't worry about the minus that you see there. Just use the 12. What we want is, or are two factors of 12. And people will start from wherever, like we know that 1 and 12 are factors of 12. So try and see whether that combination works. And so you try to check if you multiply diagonally, that gets you 12a. And if you multiply there diagonally, that gives you 1a. Right, do you think 12a and 1a can give us negative 11a? Fortunately, yes, I think we can subtract and get an 11a from this. So this means this is the correct combination. And therefore, a and 1 will go in one bracket. In the other bracket, a and 12 will go there. So let's write that now. So this means there is a here and 1. I haven't put in the signs yet. I'm just putting those numbers and a and 12. Then I go back and think. When I multiply this thing out, I should get a negative 12. So it should be a negative 12. So what does that mean? That means one of our numbers should be positive and the other one should be negative, so that we can multiply them and get a negative. So one should be positive and the other one should be negative. Now the question is it a 1 here that is positive, which makes that one negative, or is it a 1 that is negative and that one is positive? So there's some bit of thinking there that you have to do. And this is what can help you. When you add these numbers, you actually want to get a negative 11a. And so that tells us that the bigger factor should be negative. So we need to make sure that the bigger factor is negative because we want to get a minus. So our factors were 1 and 12. The bigger one is 12. Therefore, the 12 should be negative and the 1 should be positive. You can always check by foiling, but if you are accurate, you won't need to waste a lot of time. So that is your answer for this one here. Right, you will see the usefulness of this approach in this example here. Let's factorize 3x squared plus 4x plus 1. These are more advanced. These kind of expressions were not dealt with in grade 9. We teach them now in grade 10. So do the same thing. Your first term is 3x squared. Now 3x squared can be written as 3x multiplied by x, like that. So you use your first term. Then you jump to the third term and just take the number and ignore the sign in front. Fortunately, that is just a 1, and we know that for 1, it will always be 1 and 1. So if you check now by multiplying diagonally, if you multiply this diagonally, you get 3x. And if you multiply these ones diagonally, you get 1x. And yes, 3x and 1x should give you the 4x that we want there. Therefore, we know that 3x and 1 should be in one bracket, and that x and 1 should be in the same bracket. So we do that now. Just draw brackets here. In one bracket, we put 3x and a 1 there. In the other bracket, we put our x and a 1 there. Then we go back and check for the signs. We need to get a plus 1. Now, to get a plus 1, it means our signs should be the same. Either the signs are both positive or are both negative. But you will notice in this case that the middle term is actually positive. So we can't be using a negative. That means we should opt for the positive. So we know therefore that this is a plus sign and that is also a plus sign, and that makes that one there our answer. Here's another example. Factorize 2x squared minus 7x plus 6. So using that approach, I'll draw that. The first term is 2x squared, which can be written as 2x multiplied by x, or if you want 1x. Then jump to the 6 there. Now 6 is 2 times 3, so maybe you can try a 2 here and a 3 here. Then check now. If you multiply diagonally, that gives us 6x, and that gives us 2x. But we are trying to get a negative 7. We're actually trying to get a 7 from there. So we need a 7x, but do you think we can combine these numbers and get a 7? If we add, we get 8x. If we minus, we get a 4x. So this is not the right combination. Don't give up on 2 and 3. Maybe you just need to write them the other way around. Maybe 3 should be up here and 2 should be down there. Now check whether that works. If you take this and multiply there, you get 4x, right? And if you take that and multiply there, you get 3x. We are trying to get 7x. Can we get 7x from here? I think we can. All right, so that's the right combination. So we know that we will have 2x and a 3 in one bracket, and we shall have x and 2 in the other bracket. So let's do that. So 2x and 3 in one bracket, then x and 2 in the other bracket. I'm not doing the signs yet. I'm coming back to the signs. Now let's go back to the question and put in the missing signs. It says plus 6, which means the two numbers, the 3 and the 2, should be multiplied and give us a plus 6. Now for you to get a positive 6, either the 3 is positive and the 2 is positive, or the 3 is negative and the 2 is also negative. That will give you a plus 6. But if you check, we are trying to get a negative 7x. So that tells us that it can't be a plus. It should be a minus. So I know that I must put a minus here and a minus there. Then I need to check, at least just do check. You can multiply out by foiling, or you can just multiply the outer terms and the inner terms and just consider those. This is how I normally check quickly. These are my inner terms. They actually give me a negative 3x. And these are our outer terms, and they give us a minus 4x. These together will give me negative 7x, which is actually the middle term. So I know that I'm correct.